Okay.
Code word. We have to have a code word for that.
Okay, we're
Ice
ready to go. That's the
Okay.
code word is.
Ice cream.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Ice tea. Ice tea.
Okay. One sec. Okay, go. Hello, everyone. I'd like to introduce you to my childhood friend. I would like to say that it's a recent childhood, but we're talking beyond almost 40 years, I think. Is it?
Yeah.
Almost 40.
Yeah. That's right. It is.
And yeah.
Mid-80s.
And what's wonderful about introducing you to Jo, who is an avid reader and been my friend for so long, it's also the person who is creative, produces beautiful paintings based on the emotions she feels. So hint, there are 2 paintings inspired by the book, which I am going to buy when I actually get beyond the coronavirus phase. But what's beautiful about talking to Jo today about the River Rule series and what she's read is the fact that she knows the place, the setting of Kalmush Valley.
We were there.
We were there. Do you want to tell us about what you remember about the setting of Kalmush Valley from your perspective?
I remember the woods all too well that you describe in the book, and the night time and the sound of the crickets and everything, and how it plays out. I can feel, how it is in the darkness, how it could be for 2 people who are moving around in that darkness in those woods at that time. It absolutely captures the spirit of that time. Absolutely.
And this is what's great. And Jo, you read the first book, and what did you think about it? What did you think about River Rule?
At first, when you told me about your book, you said it's going to be for YA and everything. And I was also, when I approached the book, when I received it, I was also like, it's YA. We are more into adult reading now, and we've done a lot of YA, and we don't want to go back there.
Yeah.
We think we won't be able to identify with it. But when I read the book, and of course, it was special for me because coming from where it was coming from, all of that. But when I read the book, I could so identify with that place, with that girl. And Una was, I could understand what she was feeling and how it was for her to be there, to be thrown in that place quite literally. So it was just like, it was something that you were just telling me again with so much more drama. It was intriguing. I loved it. That's what I enjoyed most about it. And at once I said, no, I can read this. And I just went from page to page, in no time at all. If you remember, I told you how fast I went through the book. It was a fast read. And that I like the pace of the book very much. And I liked it. I like the magic which you infused in it. See, I'm a bit of, it doesn't have to be all real. There has to be something magical about it. I need to lose myself in it. And that's what I felt there. I just loved it. I love the story in the woods.
And the thing was that we were actually the closest of friends. Well, we're obviously closer now, but that's when our friendship began in our team.
As you say that, I was actually looking for trace because I knew that you would have definitely absorbed something from all of us, in that place, in that book. And so I could, okay, this could be that. I had so many such moments when I was reading that book. That was what was so enjoyable. I remember coming back to you and asking you, wasn't this that?
Yeah.
It was like going down memory lane, yeah. Despite all of the magic, all of the difference in the story, which really, I mean, obviously that wasn't what we were or any of the things that we did, but still, it was like being there. It was like being there.
I mean, I remember, you remember we used to go from Delhi all the way to Dehradun, and we used to have to go around and the curvy road and all the rest of it. And how
around the river? Yeah. Do you remember around the river?
Yeah,
The whole, yes, the whole ride was from, you know, we were just going along the river all the way down.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's
And
really thrilling.
all of those forests, you know, those sal trees and all of those forests, amazing, amazing.
So you were the first person who, when I hadn't even edited the book, and I was so thrilled because you were sending me paintings based
Yeah.
on the first book.
Yeah.
So can you show it? Do you have it near you? The one,
Yeah.
the
It's
first
right
one?
there.
Yeah, that's the one I'm buying off you. And it is the jungle exactly as I felt it. You know, when Una goes into the jungle and this is what she sees and she's exploring it, and it was the vivid colors and all the rest of it. I
You
mean,
know, when I started doing this, I was like, it has to show we can go somewhere inside and hide like they did, you
yeah.
know. And I just had to send it to you because I felt that, you know, it was coming out somewhere. If you could see it, it was important that you should be able to see it.
Put it towards the end because you're getting my reflection on my picture. Yeah, see the colors. It. I mean, I was so emotional when I saw that picture because it captured the essence of the jungle so vividly, and the shapes. And you know, guys, you're not getting to see this in its glory, but there's a little bit more orange, and the leaves just, you know, shout out like that. I mean, it's just, and the shadows. What's happening in the shadows? Who's looking? Who's peering? Is it foe or friend? I mean, yeah, I loved it. That's my painting. Don't get too attached to it.
No, not at all. Save them up for you and anything else that you want to lay your hands on. Absolutely.
Oh, now there's a whole wall there to choose from. In fact, you know the picture above of the tribal person? That is very similar to the tribe in the book. And then
Yes.
I know that might not have been your inspiration, but it's really bizarre to see that what I had in my head appearing on your wall without a conversation between us. So
You know, Amita, I feel anything is possible. I think it was probably an unconscious thought, you know, because
well.
I had a reference photograph when I was doing this, but it's nothing like the photograph at all. You know, what I did by the end of it, it turned out it was nothing like the photograph at all. You never know. This could be Avi a few years down,
It could be.
or it could be Wolf. I don't know.
So, okay, so we talked about Una being the main protagonist, and then there is Abby.
I love Una because she shows all of the unsureties that she feels inside, but her actions are not like that because she wants to show the world that I can do it, and she does it. You know, that's how we are. You know, that's what I like. So it's very easy. That's why I said that it's easy to identify with the characters, especially Una.
Yeah, I felt like she represented every one of us young women who we are so many things in at the same time.
That's why it's a YA book.
Yeah.
Us there, YA.
But you know, actually, the most avid readers have been, I would say 30 plus.
My God, I knew it. I was going to say middle age. I was going to say that. You know why? It's reminiscent of a time that you lived the best years of your life. You know? And they would have just passed into their 30s out of that time. I mean, for us, it's different because, you know, we have so much more attached to it, right?
Yeah.
So much emotion and everything attached to it. But for them, it would definitely be that. So I think you have a huge plethora of audiences out there, you know, with this book.
With the second book, I've not put the YA thing because actually, it, as you said, I mean, it went up to people who were in their 60s and 70s.
Yeah, right, right.
And even with the people who are at the back of the book of the first one, I think at the time one was in her late 40s and one was in her 60s. So that was a shocker. That was a huge shock for me.
Yeah.
That actually there was an audience I hadn't thought would be reading it.
Yeah,
Actually, that's the
really.
more avid audience. That was,
I think you made your book grow in that way, you know,
yeah.
and even those who have read the first one will find themselves that they're growing with the book as they read the, whatever comes next and everything. And I like it how exotic it is, you know. The book is exotic.
I love that word, exotic.
Yeah.
So hence, that's why I sent it to you before it was even the second book, Broken Rule, before it was even edited, because you're quite passionate person, but you're also quite truthful. So if you don't like something, you're going to tell me.
Yes, absolutely. I told you, I think. I did tell you something.
You did, and you've already told me what's happening in the third book. It was things like, I mean, it was quite interesting talking to you about where, the pauses were for you, and so where to speed it up a little bit, or what to remove, or
I felt what I feel is it might sound negative to somebody, but what I feel is that the book needs to get under your skin. If it doesn't, then you are not really with the story, and how it's playing out. So there were parts in the book which I was like, why is she like this? Why does she do that?
Yeah.
Yes.
But I wasn't. Yeah, that was really insightful, and I'm hoping that I altered it.
But no ironing out.
No, I didn't iron anything out. So if I asked you, okay, so Broken Rule starts off, and without giving too much of the story, I mean, how quickly were you able to get into it? At what point did you get into the book very quickly?
I did from the very start, because I was like, how is Una getting out of this pit? I was like, what's going on here? How is she getting out of this? Who is going to get her out? Is Avi coming there? And I really don't want to say anything more than that.
Yeah. And she's not actually in the best of places, is she? There's a bit of...
No, I was uncomfortable. And I just wanted to quickly move on, And she was good. Yeah, I just wanted the situation to change. So I was hooked immediately. It was a dynamic start. It was as if the climax was happening right in the very first chapter. It was like that.
Oh, brilliant. So if you...
And I wanted River Rule there at that time. But I didn't have it. I didn't have access to it at that time, since I just shifted into this house. So the book wasn't there at that time.
Oh, so you couldn't connect the two together.
Yeah, I wanted to open the last chapter there.
Well, I mean, that's what I did. I actually, before I started writing, I'll tell you a secret. I actually wrote the last chapter of Broken Rule. The second book was actually the first chapter I wrote for the whole series. So that was really bizarre that it took two books to that chapter.
Broken Rule would have been the one for River Rule.
Yeah, and it was the first chapter I wrote.
Wow.
So the whole story came afterwards.
Oh my God. So you were already in that quagmire of emotions and the drama and everything.
Yeah, and then I had to go backwards. Yeah.
Oh my God. This is like a flashback. Oh my God.
It was really, it was a very bizarre situation to be. But when I actually came to, because I hadn't read my first book for some time.
That is so different, This is the writer's point of view. Really. Maybe people should know that.
Yeah.
I really think. Yeah. How does the writer think?
Don't write from the start. Never write from the start. My second book's end was the first chapter of both books. It's astounding, really. And I kept thinking, oh no, but for this to happen, and then it just, and I think Joe, this is I don't know if I told you this either. The first chapter of River Rule was actually the last chapter I wrote for the first book.
Oh my God.
And guess who inspired me? It was you.
Ooh.
It was you.
Oh my God.
Because the first chapter was actually 3 chapters in. And the first chapter inspired me because I was actually going to Dehradun, which is where Kalmushwali is.
Yes,
And
yes.
and I
From
was,
our place. From
and
our
I was
place.
at your place, and you said to me, I mean, I can give this out, and you said to me, "Oh, be very careful. Don't get into
Right.
a taxi.
Yes, yes. I told you about that incident.
Yeah, don't go to Missouri. You know, be very, very careful." And I said, "Oh yeah, yeah, no, it's a family company." And you know,
Yes, I remember my husband and I warning you and
yeah,
telling you about, yeah, what had happened.
and what
Because
had
that
happened.
incident was so close to us. Those people were so close to us.
And those people then made it into my book.
Yeah, right.
Something
My
I'd
God.
even thought about that, you know, I had no twist like that in my head at all. My book was
I mean,
starting with Uber.
life is really stranger than fiction. Life is really strange.
Life is
You
strange.
really don't know where you draw your inspirations and how they become a part of your life. You know?
You know what's the even scarier bit was you said that this girl, somebody stopped the taxi driver, and a guy got on and said, "Oh, we're going up there." So and the couple agreed.
Yes.
And I'm not joking. When I went to Missouri with my taxi driver,
Right.
somebody stopped the taxi,
Oh my God. Oh my.
and luckily, and he said he's the owner.
All of it would have played out in your head.
That played out in my head. I mean, it was, and then I told you about what happened with the taxi driver's owner and how, you know, he was very
Right.
scary, and I was ringing you.
He was a nice taxi driver.
Yeah.
You had a nice taxi driver.
Yeah, but the owner wasn't nice.
Yeah, right. Yes.
So it was really
And that couple was the lady was my daughter's art teacher in school.
well, there you
The
go.
lady in question, yeah.
So there's a lot of although it's a mystical sense of book, but there was
But
a
it's
lot
all
of
drawn from
reality
life.
coming in.
Absolutely, yes. All of it is drawn from life. Yeah, that's what I say that we can see, you know, we can see that every time something's playing out, you can like, oh, this could be that. This might be that, you know, it suddenly
Yeah.
strikes in the head, you know. And I'm sure, Amita, this is for, I know things and so I'm saying all of this. But
Yeah.
even somebody who doesn't know you or know anything about your life, I'm sure they could identify with some of the things that are playing out in the book.
I hope so. I really
Yeah,
hope.
I'm sure. I'm sure they can, you know?
So you know how you said the characters, I mean, and that we haven't talked about Wolf yet, and maybe we won't talk so much about him because
Yeah.
um, so it's a sort of a triangle and a very uncomfortable triangle. But what do you
I like him sometimes. I can't make up my mind. Even after reading Broken Rule, I can't make up my mind.
about what?
I like Wolf sometimes.
Yeah.
I can't make up my mind about him. You know, I shouldn't
I
like him.
enjoyed
What
him.
I shouldn't like him, but I like him. I like the way I like his personality. You know, so forget the things he does, but I like him. He's attractive.
Yeah.
Sometimes he beats Abhi. I don't know. I don't want to say that. Forget it. I don't want to say that.
I mean, when I was writing, I wanted that tension, but I felt, see, the other thing about when you're writing a book is you don't actually, you know what you want to write, but actually what you write isn't what you thought you were going to write.
Yes.
When,
Like
but, yeah, it was almost like he was sitting across me on this dining table and saying,
and were you impressed with him yourself as a writer? Were you also impressed with him?
I was. I mean, I actually, he brings a smile to my face. It's like, it's really difficult to, you know, there's this wicked side, but
yeah, it's a dark character, and you don't want to be on his side, but you are sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, you want to stand by him. Yeah, you want to stand by him.
Yeah, because he makes sense. He makes logical sense. And I think that's the thing. He's very, you can be easily swayed by, yeah, that sounds about right. I mean, that's how I would do it. That's how I feel. And that is a priority.
Because dark is to look at things as they are and not to attach anything to it. You know, just be very cryptic and just look at it as it is, right? and then we call it dark, right? Because we don't like it. We don't like anything as it is, right? We always want to do things to it. So maybe that's what attracts.
And you never know, he surprises you because you never know if he's going to do what you expect him. There's that unexpected feel about him. But if you had to meet one of the characters, which one would you like to meet? And what would you say to them?
Oh my God, I don't want to say this. I would like to meet Wolf.
You'd like to meet who?
Wolf. I think I'm half in love with Wolf. And for me, he looks like something else altogether. So I don't know, if I told you what he looked like, he would be damn good looking. So just forget it.
Of course they got damn good looking. I mean, the picture...
strong, good looking, you know?
Yeah. I'm just laughing Anglo-Indian. He still has that.
You know?
Yeah.
I would tell him to be nice, but then you have Avi to do that.
Yeah. But then he's awkward. Avi is a person who doesn't quite fit. He doesn't even quite fit in, you know, even for me as a writer.
Could he even cross over to our world? He couldn't. Okay, forget it. Don't answer that.
I'm not going to answer that. You get a sense that Avi would have been better off he's always misplaced. So you never get a sense of, you haven't seen him yet because he's misplaced, which is how a lot of people feel. Like, you know, they can't be everything they want to be. They know they're better than the situation or the position they're in, but it doesn't come through.
But maybe that's an aspect you would be adding up in No Rule, probably.
Yeah.
No Rule it is.
Yeah. The third book is No Rule. So yeah, it's a bit bizarre having been an ex-teacher that I keep talking about breaking rules, and then there's no rule at all. We went from she broke one rule to she broke the rule, like the rule, and then there's no rule. So you can imagine what my classroom must have been like.
We're moving up, definitely not down.
So you said earlier to me that you felt there was a sense of maturity as they're going through. So can you talk about that again for everybody else's benefit?
You know, I felt that when Broken Rule starts and the situation that Una finds herself in, and how you've showed, you know, what she's thinking and what she's planning. She has a plan. She doesn't know if it's going to work. She has a plan and she has an expectation. So there is from people who are outside, and she does expect that somebody is waiting for her. That tone is definitely there with Avi in her mind, right? She has an expectation from Wolf, you know, and I felt that that was maturity, because there was a lot of uncertainty in River Rule. It wasn't like that there. You understand? There was just discovery. In River Rule, there was just discovery, you know, and there was a lot of surprise at what was happening. You understand? But which in this book, they knew what to expect. So they had grown in that way, is what I felt. Yeah. Even Wolf, he was more determined to do this and do that, and he came across as more powerful than he did in the previous book.
Yeah. I mean, I mean, did you get a sense of
and Grace was definitely more defined. Yeah. And so I was like, I don't like this lady. You know, I could instantly, you understand?
Yeah.
And when I was reading the earlier book, it was like you are discovering, you know, the characters as you go along. So you never felt that certainty. So that certainty is what I felt brought that maturity to this book.
Did you get a sense of being back at school in the library?
In the first book, I had a lot of such moments, most definitely. And in the second one, not always, sometimes. Yes, in the library, of course. You remember a library? Dark,
Yeah.
pin drop silence,
Yeah.
dark.
But it was based on the
But
Dominic.
I have spent so many hours in the library, much more than anybody could have in school, I think. I spent a lot of time there.
Oh, there you go. So if you what would you I'm trying to think. I think you've talked about all the surprises that you could possibly
I don't want,
read.
yeah, I don't want to say anything about the plot at all. It's like I've got to stop myself.
Yeah, you're not allowed to tell anything about the plot.
Yeah.
I mean, there's also the shaman. The shaman. There's a temple. There's always a temple and a shaman if it's mystical. I mean, what did you think of him as
Could
a
be,
character?
could there be a group? Could he be a putting together of the qualities of our teachers? Of our instructors, not just ours, anybody's, of lessons in life, probably. That's a teacher too.
Yeah.
There could be so many, for me, I could say that our teachers, our instructors. Somebody else could say it could be a putting together of lessons in life. And this is that person which comes forward. No?
Yeah. I mean,
I could say that. I could say that very easily.
that's brilliant. That's exactly what I wanted to portray. And
He is going to control something that happens and plays out in Una and Avi's life in no rule, isn't he?
yes,
He is going to set the tone, I feel, or be a guiding light or something like that.
I think he starts that towards the end of the book, or
Yes,
maybe it's always been there in the second book.
Yes,
But
yeah, maybe he shows them
yeah,
something which they feel, uh, but they're not just seeing. The clarity isn't there for them.
but you can do one thing for me, because I know you've got another painting that was inspired by the first few chapters of Broken Rule.
River Rule.
Was it River Rule or was it Broken Rule?
This one, the second one is definitely Broken Rule. It's dark.
Yeah.
It's not the first one, the woods. There was darkness in the woods, but there was the cheerfulness which came out when Una would look at the woods, in the daytime. Everything was different then. And the things that she felt at night was also different. Right?
Yeah.
This one is all dark. It's totally dark.
Do you want to show us and talk us through it?
Yeah, sure.
You need to put it on the side so you don't get my, oh yeah. Right, so that's it. So take through it.
It's more of a swamp. There is some light at the end. I don't know if it shows in No Rule. I don't know. Maybe that light is brighter in No Rule. I don't know.
Yeah, or it doesn't exist at all.
But this is dark. This is where they're caught right now. Both of them.
Yeah.
This is where Avi could be looking for Una. And he would be lost, He wouldn't be able to find her so easily.
No. Yeah,
all too well.
As easy as following the river like we did.
Yeah, right. Not so easy. On 4 wheels.
So, I mean, for me, it's the greatest compliment when somebody actually feels they can paint something based on what you've written and does it so well and captures what I felt when I was writing it. Because when you are writing something, if somebody, I'm sure if I ever get dementia at the end, I'm going to think they existed because I've lived in their world for so long. And I think about them all the time. And for somebody else to capture exactly how I felt is just so unique. And go on, tell us a bit about, there might be other authors out there who would love to have the same experience. About art gallery.
What I felt with your book was, even while we are talking about it, I can feel the book is so you know, it's picturesque, and I can feel, I can see it, you know. So it's not just that you feel their emotions and you go, you know, through the depths and highs of whatever they are going through and everything, but I can see it, the way the book plays out, you know. So it's like, like I told you, it's like a screenplay. That's what's most, it's riveting, and that's what's enjoyable about the book. It needs to be like a screenplay. You know, when you're reading it,
Yeah.
it should play out before your eyes, even if even if those are words that you're, you know, turning as you're turning every page. That's what I felt.
Because I felt that when I was doing the first book, and a couple of people said, oh, why don't you give it over to a screenplay? When I came to write the second one, I was more aware of adding more dialogue. Because I think in the first one, there was much more description.
Yes.
So the second one is run mostly by dialogue, I think, and perhaps a little less description.
Yes.
And that is, as you said, because...
But the conversation is also such, you know, it helps you to see them.
Yeah.
That's what I like. That's what I liked about the books.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. When you write your first book, you don't really know. You don't actually know anything about how to write something, and then I'm hoping with each book, and from all the critique and the comments and the interaction, you know, you get better and better. I would
River Rule, I felt that I could see all the places. You know, I could see it where they were going. You know, as they were traveling, as they were moving, even in the night, it was like I could see it. You know,
night vision.
That's what's important. I felt, you know,
Yeah.
really important for a reader to be able to see it. You know, it's like your vision being projected in words. It's viewable. The book is viewable.
Right.
You know, it's almost like, am I going to turn a page and maybe I'll see a sketch there, you know?
I wish I had the, I would love to have done that. I mean, now,
because, you know, sometimes when you're reading a book, what you tend to do is you close the book and you want to look at the cover every now and then.
Yeah.
You do, you know,
yeah,
you want a
I do know
visual.
what you mean.
You do a visual, you know?
Yeah. Especially in romantic books.
Yeah, of course. And that's what
So,
it prompts. Yeah, it prompts that. The book prompts that.
Yeah.
I like that. I enjoyed that very much.
So I mean, just a quick one, Joe, because I mean, I can see a whole art gallery behind you, and you're very vivid with your colors, and I mean, you know, look at you, kind of vision. You know how much I love color behind me. But I mean,
I can see all of the pictures behind you.
Yeah, and they're all made by people I know, except for one.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Yeah.
So can you just imagine your picture will be here? So tell me, just tell me about your art gallery a little bit, just so that, you know, and how people can find you and things like that, and how you came to be doing it as well, maybe.
I'm a shy painter, Meeta. I will only share it with my friends. That's what I do. Very, 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 very shy, and bit of a discoverer. And sometimes I'm like challenging myself. I do a painting sometimes just to see, can I do it? You know, sometimes the thought behind it is that. And sometimes, I use photographs. I use all of our famous artists, you know, and their paintings sometimes, because I would like to do a Go or a Picasso. And, you know, I have that little moment in which I feel I came somewhere close to you, you know. So that's very satisfying. But mostly my paintings these days, I'm not getting so many visuals. I don't go out so much. So these are photographs, you know, that are fine, taken by photographers here and there on Nat Geo or whatever. And then some photographs are they're vivid. The colors in them.
And emotive.
Let me paint them, you know. So that's it. I have a little Instagram account which I've dedicated to my paintings. I have a small breed of followers, and that's that. And I'm happy with it. I'm quite good. I'm doing it as long as I'm enjoying myself, and as long as I'm able to do it, and that's that.
Can I mention the name?
Yeah, sure.
It's My Art Gallery. And if you want to see a burst of color, emotion, and something that moves you.
Madness.
Madness. And, you know, there's that sense of naivety. So
Yes.
everything you just mentioned, a sense of curiosity, a sense of love, experimentation, expression, and it's uncensored.
Absolutely. And I don't think there is anybody who is doing this.
No.
Somebody would definitely like to be my teacher and rein me in.
But I feel that's why you are the person to read the book, because that sense of uncensoredness is also part of my characters. And who knows, you know, I don't know, Joe, you might be here enough for all I know. just she's taller.
Taller, slimmer, more athletic, and so much more.
Oh, no.
A little bit of an explorer, little bit.
Yeah. And also it's, I think with what I remember of a lot of our friends, and especially of you and the rest of our gang, was that we always had to just check and just push the boundary and just, what if? What if?
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
Nobody's looking, nobody knows.
Yeah.
Let's just.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. My God. And remember the times when we broke bounds just to have a good day, you know, a nice Sunday or something, you know, when we were just like, anybody would look at us and say timid girls or anything, but we were like far from that, you know.
And I think that's the essence of Una. Yeah. There's so much more going on in there than somebody would notice out there.
And we all had our independent spirit, even though we were so joined together in everything that we did everything together.
We did.
We ate together, you know. Yeah, everything. We ate our ice creams together. Whatever we did, you know. But even then, all of us were different.
And our personalities were in contrast with each other. So, I mean, it was brilliant. Well, yeah, I'm going to let you go because your day needs to carry on with that. I could go back long. And Joe, maybe we should do this after the book's been published and out there. And then you can go into all the bits you want to go into.
Definitely. Yeah, then we can be more open about things then.
Yeah.
And I think we'd probably be at each other's throat. Amita, you did that.
I can't.
I can do this.
I can't wait because you didn't see the last chapter.
Yeah, right. I know.
And you know, you said you don't want to see it either. But I can't wait to see what you think of it. I mean, it's a very short chapter. It's literally only 200-300 words, but yeah. I hope it fulfills at least one of your wishes, if nothing else.
Amita, it better. Let me see what happens.
I'm going to go back and rewrite it.
It's welcome as long as it shocks.
Well, I mean, what's your message to people who, because at the moment a Kickstarter is running at the moment, but what would you like to say to my prospective readers or anything at all, and people out there who are going to see this video?
What I want to say is, don't put a thought to it. Just go and grab it. It's unmissable. And you need to read the trilogy. So you have to have River Rule. You have to read River Rule to know Broken Rule. You have to.
Thanks, Joe. I mean, I'm hoping to be able to give people the River Rule experience somehow, but it's to be sorted out after the publishing. But thank you so much, Joe, for today. And I've really loved talking to you, as always.
Thank you. I've enjoyed it immensely. Thank you. I just want to talk about it with somebody, and there could be no better person than the writer herself.
I'll write a book just about you.
Imagine that. That's going to be a conversation which is never going to end.
All right then, sweetie. I'm going to say goodbye. I'm going to say goodbye.
Bye. All the best to you. And I hope you sell millions.
Thank you. I hope so too.